Welcome back to another episode of the Level Up Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Miller. I run a real estate team here in Blaine, and today I am really excited. It's been a while since I did a podcast, but when this guy committed, he was bringing me out of retirement because he's kind of a big deal. Sitting across the table from me is Bryan Clapper. So if you don't know who Bryan Clapper is, he is a realtor and broker, but he's also Bryan in MSP. For those of you on TikTok and Instagram, which kind of a big deal. You know, I don't know if you know this, but people are sending me videos of you and being like, "Do you know this guy?"
Yeah, it's been crazy, and unfortunately, I think you built me up too much, and this whole episode now is just going to be a complete letdown.
Yeah, it's a big flop. You just turn it off now. Yeah. No, but honestly, it's really cool. I remember right away. I don't know when you did the Blaine one because I live in Blaine.
Yep.
I don't know where it got posted. I think it was on the, You're From Blaine Facebook page or something. But I saw it and I was like, that's really funny. I had no idea who you were. I had no idea you were in real estate. I was like, that's just really cool. And then I started seeing a few other ones. And then my buddy in Florida sent me and he's like, please tell me you know this guy. This is great. And I was like, oh, what the hell? I got to figure this out. So I dug into it and reached out to you. And I'm glad you're here. It's an honor.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. I don't know what it says about me in this business that I've been in the business for 11 years, and I used to live in Blaine. You still had no idea who the hell I was.
Well, I say that loosely. I probably did, but
I know I've shown your listings before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I do recognize the name, but at the time I just saw Bryan and MSP, and I'm like, this just could be like a really funny resident. I had no idea. But anyway, so honored for you to be here. Thank you. And
Thanks.
For those of you that haven't seen or listened to this podcast before, the whole point is, I sit down with realtors in the business that are having success at something. They're doing something really well, and kind of want to dig into, hey, what are you doing that's working, and how can maybe other agents that are trying to level up their business benefit from it? So I really appreciate you taking the time to do it. I know you got lots of videos to shoot and lots of things to do, so we won't keep you too long. But a few things, just make sure I hit before we get into it. So I mentioned a broker and owner of Maker Real Estate.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And right now, just you?
Just me.
And you've been doing that for 10 years?
Well, I've been licensed. I'm going into my 11th year being licensed, but I launched my brokerage in 2019.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, it's really cool that you have the broker side as well, and you had to do all the extra hours that I was like, oh man, I don't know if I can handle that. It took me 3 times to pass the regular test. So
Really?
yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of weird in that the first test, back in, I'm sure you've been licensed even longer than I have. It was like out of 120.
Yeah.
And the first time I took it, I got 117 out of 120.
Oh my
And I'm
gosh.
such a perfectionist. I wanted to go back and take it again to see if I could get a perfect score. That was like my goal
That's incredible.
because I'm that much of a nerd.
Yeah, that was not me. But I am a perfectionist, so it pissed me off.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, when I took my test, I was 18.
Okay.
So,
Well,
like-
that's different then.
I give myself a little bit of a pass, but like,
I was 35. I had a lot more life experience. I had bought and sold a house before on
okay,
my own.
I had
so,
no
yeah.
life experience. Yeah. But that's going to be my excuse. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a child. But that's awesome. I don't know if I've heard of a higher score than that. So
There's gotta be.
If anybody out there has a perfect score, let me know. But I think you might take the cake. Okay, so Bryan in MSP is your handle.
Yep.
I love the description. It says, dubbed as vulgar and unfunny by one of your nearly 40,000 followers on Instagram and TikTok. So for the one person out there, that's your opinion, but he's pretty damn funny.
I am vulgar, though. They were right about that.
Yeah. Well, that's
a little bit.
You're real.
Yeah.
I love it.
I talk like a human.
Yes, you do. I try to explain this to my wife.
Yeah.
She's like, when you swear, it makes you sound dumb. I'm like, I know, but I'm a human.
Yeah, but what if you are dumb?
And I am.
Yeah, and I'm not
right?
trying to cover it up.
No, I'm not. I mean, you are a genius. 114 out of 117. I failed twice. So you're famous for your witty yet informative get-to-know videos about local cities in Minnesota. If you guys haven't seen them, again, go follow him. They're incredible. But I'm sure you have seen them because you're consistently getting over 100,000 views on your clever social media videos, and you even have some videos with over 1 million views and more than that probably. I thought it was cool. You have a background in journalism and also traveling, essentially. Like, you know, you lived in a bunch of different places, and so you're kind of a little bit of a journeyman. And then you also were a contractor, and you did house flipping for a long time.
Yeah, that was after I was got into real estate that I decided we were going to try our hands at flipping up a couple houses.
Yeah.
Did, a handful of them, and then just decided with kids coming it was too much work.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I get that.
Yep.
As a father of two, it's, you got to, maybe one reason why I haven't done a pod in about 6 months, you know.
Good excuse.
Traveling and all that stuff. So, and then another just random fun fact, you were born and raised in London.
No, I was actually born here.
Oh, okay.
We moved to London I was born and raised in Shoreview.
In Shoreview.
We moved to London when I was 13, and
okay.
we moved to Belgium when I was 15. So I did all of my high school years essentially overseas.
What do you think? Like, how was the experience? Do you miss that area? Like, was it a good or bad thing?
Well, it was obviously a really good thing.
Okay.
I mean, I got exposed to a whole lot of people that I otherwise would not have met.
Yes.
A lot of really cool life experiences, and I developed a passion for really good food.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it just helps to have a little bit of a global perspective.
Yeah.
Especially coming back and seeing that, like, even here in Minnesota, our culture is becoming more diverse. Mm-hmm. And having met people from a lot of these places before, it's, I maybe have a different perspective than a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I just got back from Europe. I'd never been. We actually went to London for a day, which I know is not nearly enough time.
Right.
But yeah, it's crazy. It is a lot different, but in like a good way.
Yeah.
And the food, I mean, our food is so bad here. Like, it's just sad now.
Okay, I hope you went to other countries to compare it to than just the UK, because the UK has notoriously bad food.
We were in Italy.
Oh, there you go.
Yes.
Yep.
And we were in Switzerland, which, okay food. And then we ended in France, which was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, London, maybe not.
No.
We weren't there for the food.
Right.
We were there just to see Big Ben.
If you did Italy, then you did it right. You got the right food.
Yeah, it's a problem. My wife for Father's Day got me a brick oven pizza thing, because we were just like, we had Papa John's when we got back, and we almost died. It was a problem. So, okay. So that's kind of a little bit of a background, and we can get back into some of that. But before we get too far into it, I have just some fun questions. Just I thought were interesting that I just kind of want to know. So you've been doing. This is the wild part. You've been doing this high level video content stuff pretty much since, you said, like April. So 2 months, 3 months, let's say. Your first video dates back to like January, but you really dialed it in like April.
April was when I started the Getting to Know series,
which is the one that I first saw too.
Yep.
And so it's wild that it's 2+ months, and you've had how many views total?
14 million views since January 11th.
Just a few.
Just a few.
Just a couple views.
750,000 likes.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, first off, how does that make you feel, just in general?
I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, if I was doing something that I didn't enjoy doing, I wouldn't be excited about it.
Right.
But I have a lot of fun making these videos, and now it's like, it feels a little bit like work, but the first couple ones, I was just laughing my ass off the entire time. I was writing, editing.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many bad takes from the first couple of ones because I was just giggling the whole time.
For sure.
Which it's hard to imagine me giggle, but I do giggle. Now I think I've gotten into a routine where it does feel like there's a process to it. Maybe I'm getting a little systematic about which jokes I want to focus on and which jokes I want to use. But I feel like I'm getting into a bit of a groove, and there's always, it's fun because there's always that challenge of, for the next video, what am I going to do?
Right.
What are the jokes going to be? Often I am driving out to the location where I'm going to shoot and coming up with the jokes as I'm driving,
right.
I'm typing them into notes.
Yep.
And then I can pull them into my teleprompter app. I mean, that part of it is exciting to me because I come from a newspaper background where we worked on really short deadlines.
Yeah.
And it's getting back to that thrill of, okay, press starts at 11. It's 10:30. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
So it is fun, and I enjoy the process. I enjoy making them, and I'm really, really pleased that people like them.
Yeah.
If I would still do it even if I wasn't getting the views, just because it's fun.
Yeah.
But to see that kind of return and have that sort of response is really cool.
Yeah, I'm super happy for you. And when I saw the Blaine video, I mean, I'm sure you've heard this before, but I swear, I had this idea. Okay, so you read my mind.
All right.
But I was like, man, it would be really fun. And I've encouraged my agents over the years. I'm like, go make some sort of like series about like fun facts about cities, but like do it in like the, go on location and then like work in. There was a guy on our team, his name was Andy LaForce. And I was like, work in like a stupid dad joke at the end. I was like legit. So he would have this dumb dad joke at the end. And it was great. You've taken it to a whole other level. And I'm just like, God, it's such a damn good idea. And I love it. So I hope you continue to do them forever because they're awesome. But going back to, over 14 million views and over 3 million likes.
750,000
likes. What's the weirdest DM you've ever gotten after posting a reel? Is there anything like jumps out to you?
I wish that I had some really salacious DMs to talk about.
Yeah.
I definitely have had some because in one or two of my videos I've worn rainbow glasses. And so I've had a couple men reach out to me via DM who are disappointed to learn that I'm married to a woman. It's great. I mean, I'm flattered. It's fun.
Absolutely. You still got it.
I'm really jealous of how gay men are so unabashed about reaching out to other men. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, what I've heard from my gay friends is like, they'll get laid on the way to going to get laid. Like, it's just insane. So I appreciate that and I admire it.
Yeah.
But that's been a little awkward, a little weird. I would say I don't have any really
or maybe
weird
like
DMs.
like one was just like shocking or just bad or I don't know anything.
No, most of the time if it's shocking or bad, they just put it in a comment. They don't.
Okay. Yeah. How about a comment then? What's one that sticks out to you?
I delete the ones that are really terrible.
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, like how many out of 100 comments, how many are bad? Would you say?
Probably only one or two. Which is surprising.
Yeah,
I will say the generalized Minnesota ones, the ones where I'm talking about like the Minnesota pronunciation guide.
Yep.
Get a lot of people from other parts of the country who only know Minnesota from what they see on, I hate to say right-wing media.
Right.
And Minneapolis is burning down. It's turned into little Somali. They call, Tim Walz Tampon Tim.
Right.
Like those ones I just automatically delete because I'm like, you're not here to have a real conversation.
Yeah.
If somebody
just here stir the pot.
If somebody comments like, hey, you know what, I really like Minnesota, but I moved away because the taxes are too high. Like, okay, we can have a conversation about that because that's an issue.
Yeah.
But if you're just coming to sling mud, I'm just going to delete you.
I agree.
Yep.
How much time would you say you spend after posting a video having conversations with people, either in DMs or just on the comment section?
Probably, I mean, back in the day before my videos would kind of like go viral on their own, I learned that if you interact with people who are commenting on your videos immediately, it's going to continue to push your video out because it counts that as engagement.
Yep.
So I would sit for an hour and anybody who commented on it, like their comment, reply to it, like try to engage with them because I knew TikTok, especially and Instagram as well, would continue to push that video out.
Yep.
I don't need to do that so much anymore because my Instagram now, I post a video and it has 5,000 likes in the first hour.
Yeah.
And so it's doing the work for me now. But I still try to, like, if somebody makes a good comment, I'll reply.
Yeah.
I definitely read every DM I get. I read every comment I get on stories. I read every comment that goes on everything because I mean, that's part of it. I don't want to just post it and then walk away.
Right.
But I would say generally, probably the bulk of the comments come in like the first 6 hours.
Okay.
And so I'm checking my phone maybe every half an hour or so and responding to people then. So
you ever have to like turn it off? Just like
yes. Yeah. I used to not really set like the sleep mode on my phone. I have to now. Or it just blinks all night and wakes me up and
Crazy.
Yeah.
The good and the bad.
It's a good problem to have.
It is. Yeah. Okay. What city, if you had to pick one, has given you the most unexpected content gold? Is there one that just jumps out to you?
I mean, Edina was super easy.
Yeah.
Because everybody knows the
stereotypes
stereotypes about Edina.
Yeah. Yep.
Whether they're deserved or not.
Yes.
I was a little surprised doing Richfield because I literally drove down there with the airplane noise joke, and that was about it. And so I was a little surprised that I was able to work in like the boomer or the baby boom jokes about the floors rocking.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of it just. I think Richfield was probably one of my favorite ones to do.
Yeah, you had a lot more up there than you knew.
Because I was like, what the hell am I going to talk about? And then
Richfield, all right.
Sitting in traffic, I was like, oh, I could talk about the baby boom, and like looked up on Wikipedia, like, well, how much did the population increase, and like all that stuff. And so that one was probably the most fun to do because of the content sort of coming to me as I was working on it.
Yeah. And it sounds like you're coming up with all of your own jokes and like you're doing the research and that's incredible too.
The only thing I will say, I've written every single joke in there. The only one I did not write was the one I just did on North St. Paul. I made a joke about the first sentence I said was North St. Paul isn't St. Paul at all. In fact, it's not even connected to the real St. Paul. And I was like, well, that sounds like a frickin' Dr. Seuss thing. So I was like, okay, ChatGPT, write me, like, translate this sentence into something that would sound like Dr. Seuss would write. Because I honestly, my kids have Dr. Seuss books, but I didn't remember how Dr. Seuss sounds.
Right.
And I thought it was pretty successful. It was more fun, my reaction, to be like, okay, that's not going to work.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've written every single joke that's in.
That's incredible. Yeah. That's incredible. It's a lot because your videos aren't short.
Well, they're like 2.5 minutes usually.
That's a lot. It's a lot, and it's you talking the entire time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where sometimes a 2-minute video, it might be like 30 seconds of like panning things. Like you're literally talking for 2 minutes, writing all that content, writing the jokes. Like, I don't know, man. SNL might be calling.
No.
We'll see. Okay. So Richfield takes the cake for that one. So, okay, you're known for clever endings, right? Your slogan for the cities, which is amazing. Again, I'm biased, but Blaine, that hit me. I was laughing my ass off.
You're probably here watching sports.
It's so true.
It's very true.
It's the funniest thing.
And that's what makes them funny is that they are like
yes.
Yeah.
And the Coon Rapids one. What the hell?
Give
was
us
that?
a damn chance.
I was showing my daughter that video, and she's 9. So the end, it said "damn." She's like, oh. And I was like, "It's okay, honey. Yeah. There's a dam, like a water dam." She's like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
She's very language sensitive. So, anyway, so if you haven't seen his videos, guys, he ends them with like a made up slogan for the city. It's really funny. So it says, I wrote, "You're known for clever endings, but what's one city where you legit couldn't think of a funny slogan? Is there any, or do you?"
Hugo.
Hugo.
Yep. Smiles wherever you go. Yeah. I mean, that was like literally in the car. I was like, okay, fuck it, I'll use that because it's. Like, what else are you going to tell? I mean, Hugo is kind of bland.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing I could really talk about.
It reminds me of like Wayne's World.
And actually, I never came up with a slogan for Richfield. I just had
you didn't?
I just had the airplane noise blast me out. I think I said something stupid like Richfield, it's kind of like a real city or something like that. And it's just noise, the airplane noise going over the top.
The slogan would be just like airplane noise.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
But yeah, with Hugo, it's like in Wayne's World where they're like, Delaware, or I'm in Delaware, and there's like, and they have like nothing to say like we're in Delaware.
Yeah.
All right, last dumb question. If there is one, I wrote, what is the dumbest video idea you thought would flop but totally blew up?
Oh, I could tell you which one I thought was going to be great and flopped.
I was going to ask that too.
Okay, well, let's start with which one I thought would flop and did pretty well.
Was it maybe like your first, like a Canada one?
The Canada one, I was like, okay, maybe I'll get like 50,000 views.
Yeah.
Like, that was my goal. It was like, okay.
Because that was like your first.
That was my first one where I actually was being myself and intentionally being funny.
Yeah.
And I literally made that like, sitting around the house, and I'm like, okay, if I have another year like 2024, which was kind of down for me, I don't know if I want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to try whatever. Like, there was, because the president was talking about, annexing Canada, making Canada 51st.
Yep.
And then there was a Green Party member in Canada who was like, well, we'll just annex California, Oregon, and Washington, Oregon, and California. And I said, well, wait a minute. I sell places for a living. Like, this is my opportunity to just be like, okay. What I was hoping was like maybe one or two people who want to buy or sell their house in Minnesota will see it and be like, that's clever. I'm going to ask him to list my house.
Absolutely.
Like, because I sell things for a living, I'm going to make a video pretending to sell Minnesota to Canada.
Yes.
And it was crazy. I was on 2 different radio shows in Canada for that video.
Were you really?
Yeah, one in Toronto and one in Calgary. And during the one in Calgary, I'd calculated, we looked up the population of Canada and how many of my views were from Canada. And like 1.5 or 2% of the entire Canadian population at that time had seen that video.
Wow.
Like statistically.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they actually did, but
Yeah.
statistically. And so I was like, well, that was really cool. Like, but 500,000, 1 million views in Canada does me no good from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
So I'll try the same thing with Minnesota. I'll make some funny videos about Minnesota. And I think I started doing like the Minnesota pronunciation thing where I throw in some jokes that aren't actually pronunciation things.
Yep.
And that did pretty well. And then the getting to know the cities was just kind of a natural extension of that, because I was like, okay, it would be kind of funny if I did city guides in a different way.
I like the stuff you do with like The Office and
yeah. I mean, and those ones, I didn't think those would do all that well, but I would definitely say it was the Canada one that I thought like maybe would get 50,000 views, and I think I'm at like 4 million views for that one alone.
Yeah.
Now between TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah. So out of those three, I'm just curious, which one do you see getting you the most engagement? Is it TikTok or is it Instagram?
It's changed. TikTok was great when I didn't have a whole lot of followers on Instagram.
Okay.
Once I started getting followers on Instagram is when I started to get real engagement. So I've had, since April, I've had 10 new clients.
Wow.
From social media.
Yeah.
2 of them have closed. 3 of them have closed. 2 of them are closing in 2 weeks, and 3 of them we are writing offers for. Like I wrote one this morning. I'm writing one tonight.
That's amazing.
So like that.
And that's from Instagram.
That's all of them except one were from Instagram.
Wow.
One of them was from TikTok. So I've kind of focused more, even though I prefer the TikTok interface, like I prefer
Way
using
better.
TikTok.
Yes.
Instagram gets me better engagement, gets me more new clients.
Yep.
And overall, I think, you can't invest too much in TikTok because your followers on TikTok mean nothing.
Right.
You are starting from zero with every video you post.
Right.
Whereas Instagram, like I said, 5,000 views in the first hour typically, and it's all to my followers.
Yeah.
And then it usually picks up, and I usually end up with 80 to 100,000 views on Instagram, mostly from followers, but also from non-followers.
And Facebook is just kind of for Facebook. Like do you get a lot from that?
I've gotten no leads from Facebook, but I do get quite a few views.
Okay.
I guess they must have changed something, but it used to be you'd get like 100 views on Facebook. Like nobody would watch it.
Yeah.
And I finally switched my profile on Facebook to a digital creator.
Yep.
And now since it auto uploads from Instagram to Facebook to the Reels.
Yep.
I think I'm over 6,000 followers now on Facebook too.
Okay.
So I'm getting a lot of views from Facebook now.
My bread and butter is Facebook, but it's never it's really hard for me to have a video get a ton of views on that.
Yeah.
It usually happens on Instagram or TikTok, so I was just curious.
Yeah.
But okay, so the Canada video. All right, so now before we get into your secret sauce, so you end all your videos with funny slogans, right?
Yep.
So I went into ChatGPT, I put in your whole profile,
Okay.
and I said to it, I need some funny slogans about Bryan.
Okay.
So I want you to tell me which is the best one. There's like 8 of them.
Okay, great.
I deleted a few
Okay,
because they were
good.
like not that funny.
Yep.
But all right. So here's number 1. You ready? Yep. So the video's done. It's like featuring Bryan.
Sure.
It's all about you. Get to the end. Bryan and MSP selling homes and dad jokes at the exact same speed.
Okay.
It's not bad. Minnesota's #1 real estate agent / unofficial tour guide / snack enthusiast.
Is it so the snack enthusiast is just because I'm fat?
You talk to
Okay,
my
all right.
ChatGPT.
Yep, all right.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a little long for a slogan.
It is a little long.
Yep.
All right,
Could've
we'll
just
try
said-
it better.
Could have just said fat guy. Bryan and MSP, fat guy.
MSP, just fat.
Yep.
Sells houses, fat guy. No, we don't like that one. He's not your average realtor. He's your city's hype man in a Patagonia vest.
I don't think I own a Patagonia vest.
I don't know where that one came from.
Yeah.
So we'll throw that one out. If Zillow had a sense of humor, it would sound like Bryan.
That's not bad.
Not bad. More charisma than a 3-bed, 2-bath with walk-in closets and heated floors. So like not a ton of charisma.
Yeah,
Because like that's a basic ass house.
Yeah.
Well, the heated floors though,
Yeah.
it's like warm.
Okay.
Sorry, these are brutal. 3 more. Bryan.
They're not bad.
They're not terrible. I mean, I will say it is my ChatGPT, so it might be my fault
Yeah.
because I haven't trained him to be too funny.
Sure.
I've trained him to stroke my ego.
Yep.
That's about it.
Yep.
Brian, turning city council summaries into TikTok gold. But at the same time, you will write all your own jokes.
Well, and I don't think I've ever talked about a city council.
You haven't?
I used to cover city councils for newspapers, but
God, that sounds terrible.
no.
All right, 2 more. Brian, the realtor who can pronounce Wyzetta correctly and make it go viral.
Okay.
That ain't bad. And the last one, this is stupid. Come for the listings, stay for the slogans. No. I personally like fat guy.
Yeah, I think that's what I probably would. That's going to be my new bio.
Just kidding. You said it, so I can say it. But anyways, those were dumb. I just thought it was funny. I just want people to know they need to watch to the end of the video because it's the best part.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into it. I mean, you're doing something right, and coming from somebody who has done lots of videos. I'm not a shy of videos.
Yep.
I believe in them wholeheartedly. I tell all of my team members to be doing them, and social media is so important to business. It has helped me grow my business to where it is today. I can't imagine what your business is going to look like in a year.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, 10 a month. That ain't bad.
In a couple months.
Yeah, I mean, good, but still. So it's obviously an incredibly powerful thing. People out there that are ignoring video or saying it doesn't work or they're doing the little dances or whatever they're doing, right? There's a different way to do it. And I don't know how much you want to share, what you can share, but anything that you can share about maybe, something that unlocked with you, that you figured out the algorithm or whatever, and then the tools you use to help agents maybe just gain a little bit more traction on social would be awesome.
Well, and I'm willing to talk about it all because there is, my reason for wanting to talk to you and wanting to help other agents is that right now real estate content is punished by the algorithm.
It is.
When I look around and I see the general engagement that your content gets, that every other agent's content gets, it's very low engagement. Because TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, they've all said people will watch these real estate videos, but they're not really interacting, and it doesn't help us as a platform if people aren't engaging with it.
Right.
However, if everybody kind of ups their game a little bit and works harder to make good content that people are engaging with, that's going to help all of us because then TikTok, Instagram, Facebook are going to say, okay, last month cooking content was really hopping. Maybe this month, informative, funny, whatever real estate content is hopping. We're going to start to tweak that algorithm, push it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think that helps all of us. It helps me too.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, gosh, if everybody stepped up their games a little bit, improved our engagement as an industry, improved our image as an industry. I think we have an image that too many agents are almost seen as robotic copycats.
Right.
Tyler posted a market update, so I have to post a market update.
Right.
And it's like we need to come up with some better ideas.
Right.
To sort of salvage that image, to show that, you have a vast array of options in real estate agents. We're not all the same. We don't run our businesses the same. I think if upping our game content-wise helps that, I think it's great for the industry.
Yeah. I 1,000% agree with you. And it seems like no matter what most realtors do, they can't seem to break through. You'll get lucky, right? I had a couple go viral.
Yeah,
right.
You just need to be yourself. That's the key, and you need to be like, ask yourself what is nobody else doing,
right? And what do people actually want? To watch or listen to? Do they really want to know a market update? Now, there's value in that, but maybe that should be on your website where after they discover you, they're like, oh, this person's legit, right? Like your profile pulls to your website, you look at it, oh, he's a realtor, he knows what the hell he's doing. Yeah. But I'm gonna go back to watch his funny videos now. Right.
So. Well, and I don't have all the answers about what content people should be making, but I think you just shouldn't be afraid to try new things. That's the biggest thing. Find a funny way or an interesting way to do a market update. Just do something different. I've often thought if I wasn't doing funny videos, because I'm sort of a naturally sarcastic person, so it's easy for me. What else would I do? And I've had the thought of I really love to cook, and I know a lot of chefs. Maybe if I'm listing a house with an amazing kitchen, I'll have a chef come in and do a menu demo or, a recipe demo in that kitchen.
Yeah.
Shows off that house. It's content that people will engage with. It's different. And that's just like one idea, and people can steal it. I don't care because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Just try to think of different things. And the great thing is if it works, it works. If it doesn't, nobody's going to notice anyway. And they wouldn't have noticed your market update video you did instead.
Right.
So you lose nothing.
You're right. 100%. So how did you come up with it? Like what led you to the city video, the get to know Blaine, the get to know Coon Rapids? Was there...
So early on in my career, when I was an agent, working for a different broker, I started doing blog posts that were a lot of city data. Mm-hmm. And that was back before COVID, when companies were sending people around the country, moving people back and forth. Mm-hmm. And I did a lot of work with relo buyers. And what they said was, I can go to, these were blog posts I was doing. They're like, I can go to city data, I can go to census, whatever, and get the numbers, but I don't know how that translates to how people live in the cities.
Right.
And those blog posts have kind of evolved now. I no longer maintain a blog because I don't have the time, but evolved into the idea of like, okay, I could talk about the cities. But then I was like, well, if I'm just standing in front of the camera and I'm saying, Roseville is 10 minutes from downtown and there's a bunch of shops, and it was where the first Target was and the first McDonald's in the States. Like, nobody's going to watch that.
Right.
So I might as well make it funny and be like, well, Roseville's 36,000 people and 33,000 zombies lying in wait in those massive cemeteries out on the edge of town. Mm-hmm. Like, that was kind of like, okay, people might think it's funny. That was when I thought people were going to be like, this is stupid. That's why, like, even the description of the video was like, I kind of phoned this in. Yeah. Because I sort of like felt like that wasn't a really good one. And that one took off pretty well.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Well, so what's your advice to people? Like, obviously, be yourself, do something that's maybe more engaging, bring some humor. I think humor is always good. I'm a pretty sarcastic guy too, so I can resonate with that. Maybe humor's not your thing, but just be yourself.
Yep.
Be different. Honestly, like if I'm a struggling agent trying to figure out how the hell can I get some business, start in ChatGPT. Mm-hmm. Hey, what are agents not doing right now? Yep. And what's a cool video series I could start? I bet you get 10 decent ideas. You can take it, run with it, do something with it. I don't know.
I think so. And I think you could even, like personally, the one tool that I use that I think was a game changer for me, because I could never remember what I wanted to say.
Yeah.
So I downloaded a teleprompter app and I type everything into a script. And I have had some people like, how do you remember all that? It's like so cool. It's coming off the top of your head. It's not.
Yeah.
Like I'll sit for an hour and write my script, and then I'm just reading it off the screen. And because it's on my phone screen right underneath the camera that's taking my video, it looks really natural. So like that's the number one tool is get a teleprompter app on your phone. It's going to make your life so much easier. Mm-hmm. It's going to make your videos crisper, faster. It'll just make it a whole lot better.
Way less editing.
Yeah, way less editing. Like I obviously do a lot of editing with B-roll and stuff, but the stand and talk now is usually the first or second take, and it's all continuous. I'm not having to go back and cut and move stuff. I can just take what I recorded on my phone and drop stuff over the top of it and drop music underneath.
What is your tool for editing B-roll and music and all that stuff?
So I use Premiere Pro.
Premiere Pro.
Yep, okay. It's an Adobe.
Okay.
Yep. And that's because I came from a design background, so I had already had a subscription to Creative Suite.
Yep.
And it's expensive for what it is, but there's no reason people can't use other apps. I mean, it does the same thing.
Yeah.
I think even some of the like CapCut and stuff like that would work well. That just happens to be the tool that I know.
Yeah, there's a lot of options now with B-roll where like even in the last year, I feel like a year ago it really wasn't that easy to find. Yeah. And now it's just like, oh, there's this AI B-roll tool, or
I use some AI stuff. Most of it's through Envato, ENVATO.
Okay.
So I use Envato Elements for most of my B-roll and my music. And it's a really cheap subscription. It's like a couple $100 a year.
Okay.
And then that also has a video generator, AI video generator. So every once in a while I use a clip like, I did a video where I was doing like marketing ideas. And I was like, I need a video of a giant eating a house. Well, that's not something you really have in video catalog.
Yeah.
So AI made that. And actually, from the Blaine video, the nervous dad on the sideline of a soccer game was AI.
Okay.
But most of the time, it's real video clips that I'm finding.
Yeah, but when you're filming the video, you're just using your phone.
Just my phone.
You got it on a stand?
Yep. And in fact, I've like on my on a tripod, I've got a little MagSafe thing, so I literally just throw it up there.
Yep.
I've got a wireless mic from Rode that works really, really well.
Yep.
Really good quality.
That just plugs into the bottom.
Yep, plugs into the bottom, and it's like crazy to me as a former photojournalist. I used to carry a bag full of camera gear.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
To shoot on film.
Yeah.
That I would have to then go back to a darkroom and develop.
Yeah.
To now be able to do all this stuff on a phone is crazy.
It's crazy, and again, it just limits the excuses. It's like, yeah, it's right here.
And you're already paying for a phone. Like
Right.
you don't have to go out and buy anything. You don't have to use a wireless mic if you don't want. For me, I use a wireless mic because the sound quality is a little bit better.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I have something to do with my hands.
Right.
Because otherwise,
you're just standing there.
I'm like
You're
Ricky Bobby. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I don't know what to do with my hands. Okay, that's awesome. And then I was going to ask, so you use that, and then you find the clips like B-roll and stuff. Are you filming any other? Are you finding like a drone? Are you doing any of that stuff, or are you finding all these clips?
No, I have not gotten a drone. I've thought about it, but I don't want to. Like, it's just too much time to invest to learn how to use it.
Right.
Like the B-roll of like the houses, I'm usually just holding my phone as I drive,
Just driving, yeah.
and like just driving slowly down the road.
Okay.
I'll do some like if I'm going to talk about a specific store or something, like I'll just take it with my phone.
Yeah.
And
So you're like investing time walking through the city. You're not just like going and standing in a park.
And they're mostly cities that I go to anyway. So
Right.
it's like, I'm not.
Does your wife ever send you some B-roll when she's over?
No, not really.
Okay.
No. She has her own job and her own career.
Yeah.
That thankfully, gives me a lot of flexibility to be able to, like, okay, if I'm going to spend a month making videos instead of cold calling and not contribute anything financially next month, that's okay. Like, she can cover that.
What does she think of all this, by the way?
Oh, she thinks it's great.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is she's in public relations, so she's worked with a lot of influencers. Like she understands it.
That's
and I think
crazy.
she's maybe a little surprised that mine have taken off this well, because like she's used to like a little bit more polished production.
Yeah.
And people who actively sought out being influencers,
Yeah.
and I'm just like accidentally 12 million views in a couple months. And,
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like he had a good person to back you up
Absolutely.
there. Be like, hey, don't do this, do that.
And she, like, half the jokes in the video, or I shouldn't say half, I would say 75% of the jokes in the videos are intended solely to make my wife laugh.
Yeah.
Because that's like my barometer of what's funny.
Yeah. If she laugh, like she's a hard laugh, like it's
No,
tough to get her to laugh.
she's an easy laugh,
Okay.
but not an indiscriminate laugh.
Okay.
Like if something's not funny, she'll say, okay, well, that's not funny.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a good.
But if she
bar.
thinks it's funny, it's like she doesn't have like a mid laugh. It's 100% laugh at everything that's funny. And then if it's not funny, there's no laugh whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your kids, I think they're like younger.
6 and 8.
Okay, 6 and 8. So they understand probably a little bit, like.
Yeah, they think it's great. They're just getting into their screen life of like seeing something. They're not allowed to have social media,
Right.
but they like understand it.
Yes.
And I have one video that I did with them that it was only on TikTok. I never put it on Instagram because the joke was like, I didn't think it was quite a right fit for Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
But it was spring break. My wife was traveling for work. I had to go up to do a walkthrough at a property in Sturgeon Lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, guys, you got to come with me in the car. No, we don't want to go. It's like, okay, how about we do this? We'll go to Duluth for a couple hours. We'll have lunch, and then we'll go to Sturgeon Lake. Nope, still don't want to go. It's like, how about if we make a funny video? Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, so they were all in. So we did. The joke was, it's spring break, and I'm going to take my kids to do something fun. What do you guys think it is? And Sam says Disney World, and Lucy says Hawaii. And then cut to, we're standing in front of the lift bridge in Duluth. And my son goes, what the fuh? And then it cuts off. Well, he said, what the fuzz? But he knows the joke, right? So I had him say, what the fuzz? And then cut it off so it sounds like he's saying what the fuck.
I think I did see that one too. Yeah, that made me laugh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so we got some of the tools, strategy-wise when it comes to like making these videos actually go. Is there anything like, okay, so some people are like swear by hashtags, some people swear by certain times or days, any of that type of stuff that you can give advice to?
I've noticed only a little bit. I've noticed that posting at different times only makes a little bit of a difference.
Okay.
Because some I'll post in the morning, I'll get really good engagement. Some I'll post in the evening and get really good engagement. That I don't worry about too much. Okay. Hashtags really don't matter all that much, depending on the platform.
Noticed that.
Yeah. For me, I think the biggest thing is you figure out what works, and if you're getting good engagement from that video, you do a couple more like that.
Yep.
Before you switch to, okay, now I'm going to talk about real estate specifically, or now I'm going to talk about something else. If that's working, stick with it for a while, because you're training the algorithm to believe in you.
Yeah.
You're training the algorithm to keep delivering your stuff. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed when I have, posted like a half-assed video or one that doesn't have particularly good engagement, the video after that, even if it's solid gold, so it's a getting to know it's solid gold, that will be delivered less.
Interesting.
But if you do like three items that the content is going to be delivered and engaged with, if you do those in a row, all of a sudden you'll see your account be a little bit more favored by Instagram and TikTok.
And how often do you think people should be posting these videos, and how much is too much?
Yeah, I think every day is too much.
But TikTok almost likes that, don't they? Like,
I haven't noticed that personally. And I normally do every 2 or 3 days, because I've gotten a feel for what the natural ebb and flow of a video is.
Right. Like when it starts to die down.
Yeah, once it starts to die down, then I'm going to post something else.
Okay.
But I generally don't wait more than 4 days to post something. I try to do like every 3 days. Sometimes every 4 is like pushing it. 2 seems too frequent. So I'm right around 3 every 3 days. Okay. Now this week I did it 2 days apart, but normally I would say I'm like every 3 days.
And are you posting anything in between,
Not generally.
Just copy or anything like that?
No, I'm posting stories.
Okay.
In between. Sometimes I'll post a photo, but that's more, if it's sort of related. I made the mistake of building up my personal Instagram as my Bryan and MSP. That was my personal one before, because I was like literally thinking, okay, my Maker Real Estate Instagram has like 20 followers.
Right.
I'm not going to invest my time doing a video for that. And because the previous reels hadn't got that many, I was like, like I said, my Canada one, if I had gotten 50,000 views on that, I would have been really happy.
Yeah.
So I made the mistake of putting it on my personal account. And now all of a sudden, like all of my personal old photos are like still on there. I'm like, oh, what should I do with that? But ultimately, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Honestly, it's kind of cool, because I was curious. I'm like, when did he start this? And I scrolled, and I was like, okay, I can kind of tell when he started doing it. And I think it's kind of cool. It shows like the evolution a little bit. And I think my recommendation is to keep them.
Yeah. I think
it doesn't have to be this polished, perfect, like everything else, right? But talk to your PR rep, because she would know better than I would.
I can't afford her.
Yeah, no. I'm sure you can't. Man, I was going to ask something else about. So like I've heard from others that maybe they post, whether it's just a static post or a video or whatever, and it starts to go well.
Yep.
In the past, this is maybe like 2-3 years ago, you would like boost it or something to like really give it some juice, because it's like, it's liking it, and apparently it would help it do more. Are you doing any of that? Are you advertising any of them? Are you dropping them anywhere else?
I've boosted things in the past, but never these videos, because I guess I've never experimented. I've never tried, because I'm happy with 100,000 views.
Well, hell yeah.
So I don't really see the point in spending another $50 or whatever to get a few more.
No. I agree. I just, I'm sure everybody's just sitting there like, for you to even say, I think this candle will get 50,000 views, like, to the normal person, that seems like, how would you even know that it's going to get 50? How would you even have that prediction? I'd be like, hey, if it got 5,000, I'd be pumped, right?
Well, that was like, because I had a couple TikToks that were
so TikTok
not
was
funny,
and
still got a lot of views. I was like, okay, like I had one where it was, this was a couple of years ago. I was in a bathroom of a really terrible flip, and I was like, just doing a TikTok. Was like literally like, what's this bathroom missing? And I panned around, and anybody who has been in real estate realizes that, well, there's no outlet in there for anything. And that got like 2.7 million views on TikTok. And like, it was no production value whatsoever.
Yeah.
So I had that understanding that things have the potential to go viral, even if you don't intend it. And I guess it was maybe to encourage myself to spend the time to do that candidate video, because that was my first sort of high production value video. So it took me like 4 hours.
Yeah. That was what I was going to ask too. These videos take you roughly 4 hours, like
3 to 4 hours
from like filming to editing to posting.
Yep.
4.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but with the Canada one, I had to tell myself it's going to get at least 50,000 views. Otherwise, that amount of time was not worth investing to me.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So before we move on to like kind of what's next, any other little nuggets you want to drop on people, like tips or just advice on social, like anything else that you're just like, you can do all this stuff, but if you miss this, it might not hit like it should.
I think if you make the videos about yourself, it's never going to go viral.
Yeah.
Unless you're being self-deprecating, like, because people like that.
Yeah.
But if your point of your video is, look how smart I am, look how much I know about real estate, people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
If your video is informative to them and they engage with it, and it's not all about, look how much I know about real estate, you're likely to get better engagement.
Gotcha. I like that advice. Yeah, just it's meet people where they're at, and try to entertain them. I mean, it seems silly, but that's what that's what works.
Yeah.
Well, then, okay. Moving forward, I mean, this is really exciting time. I think one day maybe you'll look back on this time and be like, man, that was bonkers. Look at what happened to my life. I mean, it could be incredible. It could be, and it already is. Yeah. So let's just be pumped about this moment in general. But I think it could be even crazier someday. And so when you think about, all right, I got this momentum. I love what I'm doing. I got a PR rep in my back pocket. Like I got the goods. I sound like Ron Swanson, but I'm sexier. like what is next? I mean, you have your brokerage, you have your personal business, you have probably potential for, influencer type of things, maybe comedy, maybe, it's like, what do you hope comes from all of this other than obviously just more like business in general?
Yeah. I don't really have a grand plan.
Yeah.
I kind of just take it, one month at a time.
Yeah.
I probably should have more of a plan, but
it's early yet though still, so I get it.
Yeah, but I think if I were to sit down and be like, okay, well, in 5 years I'm going to be doing this, then I start to look at every benchmark that I miss and get frustrated. And I won't do as well as I would if I just say, you know what, I'm having fun with this, I'm going to keep doing it. And if I know that I'm following the right process, if I know that I'm making good content, I'm being responsive to people, I'm treating my clients the way they need to be treated, then I know that my business will follow and it will grow. I eventually would like to add on some other agents, who kind of want to build their business the way I have.
Yes.
But I don't have a giant grand plan. I don't want to be an influencer. Like that's
too bad, too late.
Yeah. Well, I get like brand, but like, I mean, from the my personality shouldn't be my product.
Yeah.
My product is my knowledge of the real estate market, the knowledge of our local market.
Yeah.
And so I feel like if I were to start doing brand deals, it just doesn't feel like me, and it takes away from what I'm trying to do. I do have some local businesses who have asked me to do
like
promotions.
Spotlight. Yep.
And I'm going to do that, but I'm not going to make money at it because that's, to me, then that changes my business.
Yep.
And I only want to do like local businesses, locally owned, not franchises, and just give them like little shout outs. Like that's kind of the goal for me.
Like if you did, let's say Hope Breakfast Bar calls you up, right? And they're like, hey, just can you come do a video here? It'd be awesome. Like, is it going to be like kind of the same type of videos?
No.
Like,
I'm not going to do like individual videos on certain things, but like I have talked to some businesses in some cities where I'm going to be doing videos. And basically it's like a working their name into the video I'm already doing.
Okay.
Because I feel like if I start doing promotional videos essentially for other people, then that might hurt my engagement.
Yep.
And then hurt all of my other videos.
Yeah, don't broke what's not fixed, or
Yeah, exactly.
don't fix what's not broken. Like it's, I think it'd be fun to see like kind of like a making fun or poking fun at like a certain restaurant or something like if they were up for it, But I get where that may not be exactly your thing. When you getting like a sexy billboard,
never
the green glasses, it just says Bryan in MSP.
Yeah, I don't do billboards.
Because right now, I would just have this conversation yesterday. Somebody said to me, there was a college debate, like at someone's college. Who's the most famous person in Minnesota? Mm-hmm. And it was like Justin Jefferson, Anthony Edwards, Chris Lindahl. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, it's obviously Justin Jefferson. What are we talking about? But pretty soon, Bryan Clapper, baby.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean,
coming for the title.
I would rather be known for the work I'm doing than like go out and promote myself.
Oh, absolutely, but I think you could. My point is, I think you will be, and you're doing it the right way.
Yeah.
And I was joking about the billboard. Please don't get one. But if you did, make it sexy. That's all I'm saying.
I will say I have a video coming up about bus benches.
I love it.
Yeah. However, I came up through the newspaper world.
Yeah.
My last job when I was still in the newspaper world was as a VP at a national publishing company. I ran a group of 5 papers, 2 dailies, 3 weeklies. So I oversaw the ad sales department as one of my duties, and we were constantly selling against billboards. So it would be like saying, all of a sudden tomorrow you're going to be a Packers fan.
Yeah. Oh.
No, it's
Can't
like
do it.
Yeah. So and radio I'm okay with. Billboards I don't think I'd ever do.
Maybe you'll take out a full page ad.
Maybe
one of these years, when you're.
Although in print it's not really worth it anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I really appreciate the time.
Yeah.
I know you got a lot of stuff going on. You got probably 10 more clients on your phone since we just started talking. But I'm super happy that this is going so well for you, and I'm happy to know you a little bit better now. And hopefully, when you show my listings in the future, you'll do a cool video about it and help it.
I won't badmouth you anymore.
Thank you.
When I show your listings. Yeah.
Maybe just not as much.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But no, I'm super happy for you. So thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. This was a blast.
And anybody out there who is watching or listening, I assume Bryan is totally happy to answer any additional questions.
Absolutely.
Reach out anytime to him. Super, super nice guy, and obviously doing very, very well, and I can't wait to see what's next. If you know anyone else that is doing something great in real estate and can help everybody level up, please reach out. I'd be happy to feature them on the podcast, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, Bryan.
Thank you.